Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Open World. How are you doing today? Hi Ale, hi Meli. And today we have a
Hi,
very
everyone.
special guest with us, Tamara. Hi Tamara, how are you doing today? Thank you so much for joining us. We are so excited to have you here.
Hello, everyone. It's amazing to be here. So thank you very much for the invitation. And I'm really looking forward to our discussion today.
Thank you, Tamara.
Thank you, Tamara. Well, I was hoping to kick the interview with you telling us a little bit about you, about your career, your journey. How did you started in the industry? What was your first thoughts, and did you ever imagine getting to where you are now? Wherever you want to start, we are all ears.
So if we do a bit of time travel back in, I'm not
Yeah,
going to
let's.
say a year, okay, but I was around 7 years old when I got my first computer. That was, I'm not going to say the model because that will reveal my age. But I became very excited and passionate about gaming and programming and games. And I also was very interested in languages. So these two things kind of defined my childhood, games and languages. And my studies led me in all sorts of sidetracks, very exciting ones. But it was just amazing. It's quite a miracle that eventually these two passions kind of came together in working in video games as a localization professional. But talking about my professional career, I like to say that I've been through the localization food chain, starting as a freelance translator and moving to become an internal reviewer, project manager at a small-ish SLV in Budapest, and then MLV, and then I am now on the client side, so to say, working at Frontier Developments for the last 8 years or so, and it's an amazing place to be.
Nice.
That's
Well, one of the
amazing.
interesting things, yeah, one of the interesting things about this industry is that you don't only have to be a linguist and translate video games to be a part of this entire food chain, like you mentioned it, right?
Yeah.
Do you think, like, looking back, do you think it made sense for you to go through this journey to be able to, like, be where you are today?
Yes, absolutely. Looking back, in retrospective, it's amazing to see how all these experiences, how my studies, the student organizations I was part of, and then, all these steps in my career eventually added something very useful that I can still use today. I mean, just a simple example, if you think of, well, we work with, partners, clients, we're working with a lot of vendors and localization partners, and being on that side of the industry, I know what they need, I know how they work, and I am able to provide them everything that I possibly can so that they can do the best work that they possibly can.
That's great. Yeah, you understand the whole process a lot better being on both sides. And I have another question. Also, like I've read a NIMSI report where you talk about the healthy work culture among your teams as a leader. And can you share any specific tips with us?
Well, one of the things that I really love about my current job is managing a diverse team of absolutely amazing individuals. And as a leader, I believe that my job is to enable and empower these people to do their best, and also to explore and build on their strengths, and to have them continuously grow as a professional. And NIMSI actually has been an absolutely fantastic partner in that for us. As for tips, I always encourage transparency and open communication within my team. We have, daily stand-ups, so everybody knows what the other people are working on. And this also helps us work towards becoming better cross-cultural communicators, which is extremely important if in our team of 11 individuals, we have 9 different nationalities and cultural backgrounds. So it's very important to do that. Also, a really fun practice that we have in place is a weekly gathering called La Vida Loca. And that's that's a casual Friday. It's a casual Friday session where we can, geek out about languages and cultures, do
Nice.
training, share ideas about our projects, and just to celebrate all these achievements that the team members have. So that's
So
really
cool.
fun practice to set
I love that.
not just focus on the day-to-day production method.
Oh my God, amazing. That's so cool. Thank you for
That's
saying and
a great
sharing.
tip
Yeah.
also for everyone. Like, I feel like it can be
Yeah.
implemented.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's very cool.
I love to give it a name to the Casual Fridays, an ultimate goal, right? Now, if you were to say some of the biggest challenges that you've had in your role as head of localization, or even growing towards your role, what would you say that you might have had to face? Maybe it's a tough question. I don't know.
No, it's fine. But I think my answer will probably resonate with other professionals who have had a similar journey to mine. So who have come from the language service provider side over to a game company or any other company, for that matter. And I think one of the biggest challenge when you make that move is to learn a new language, or rather many new languages, so that you're able to talk about localization to people who are from all sorts of disciplines, and
Right.
talk to them in a way that it creates bridges and leads to a shared understanding and solving problems collaboratively. And don't forget that they don't know anything about localization. So have you, for example, tried explaining like the cost savings that you can achieve by leveraging your TM if you're not allowed to say translation memory, fuzzy match, retranslation? Anybody of the game of Taboo, if you remember?
Yeah.
So yeah, that's quite a challenge. But after you spend some time listening to your colleagues talk about their challenges and their work, it's not that tricky to figure out how to talk to them about localization in a way that makes sense for them.
Right.
Well, as a couple of examples, if you talk to a UI coder about how you handle formatting tags or placeholders, they will be really thrilled to hear that. Producers, budgets, timelines, how you stick to them. And of course, if you talk to management, they will want to hear about the ROIs for the different languages, cost savings, if you achieve those through efficiency and new tools and technology, as well as how you are driving growth and revenue for the company. And also in my experience, everybody loves hearing about things like transcreation tricks and game culturalization. So that it's a good, lunchtime chat, how you can generate some excitement about your daily work.
It's always an interesting topic for those who aren't in the localization industry, the transcreation part, isn't it? It's like a constant everywhere.
It's a big, wow, I never thought about that before. Yeah.
But hey, you don't know what you don't know.
I'm a huge fan of Planet Coaster and yeah, obviously Planet Zoo, right? And I know about Planko. Would you like to tell our audience about it? And do you know someone that speaks Planko? Because that's so cool.
Yeah, of course. I really love Planko and I love talking about it. But come on, what kind of language geek would not be excited about talking about the constructed
No,
language?
I know. So good.
So yeah, Planko was born during the development of, as you say, Planet Coaster, which is, for those who don't know, a theme park simulation game that Frontier released in 2016. And there were a couple of ideas generated about how to create a living world, in a world where the player gets a tangible connection to all the guests that roam around in the park and whom, as a player, I'm supposed to entertain. And one of these many suggestions was a substitution language based on English, Blanco. And the idea came from our amazing audio team, from an excellent sound designer, now dialogue manager actually, called James Stant, and he is the father of Blanco. And the idea was that we wanted the players to have more connection and just go a little bit beyond the ooh, ah, wow, grr, and all these non-verbal sounds to make the guests more real. And we didn't want to localize any of that chatter because we wanted these parks to be location agnostic, and the planet universe is a separate and completely entirely separate world, and without connection to real countries, real languages. So creating Blanco was just a fundamental aspect of creating this experience. Yeah. Apart from the creator, I honestly don't know anyone who is fluent in Blanco. But of course, many of us know a couple of words and expressions. So a couple of my favorites would be "heyo," which is hi.
Oh my God, yeah.
We have "Viber," thank you. "Alliuma," roller coaster. So if you say the word "Alliuma," that's kind of how the coaster
Yeah.
back. We have "Has woof," hot dog. So woof as in, what the dogs say here in the UK. And my personal favorite is "Vippitentifu," which is a happy octopus.
Oh my God. So cool.
Extremely adorable.
Vocabulary is there. Yeah.
Even the
It's
world
so
is
So
cool.
creative.
Yeah.
I love that it has an intention behind it. Ali, it's like
Yeah.
it makes sense.
Yes.
Yeah, and when you're playing like Planet Zoo, yeah, I love to hear like the little people saying "hey, hey" to the animals, like "hey." Oh my God, so cute.
Yes,
It's amazing.
there is definitely an intention behind the words, because since these are, not understandable for the players, we still wanted them to give information. So, I mean, "Vippitentifu," that's just the happiest thing you can imagine, just saying it. And then words that are related to frustration and anger, they will have those kinds of sounds. So even though you don't understand the actual words, they do carry information about
Yeah.
the happiness, tiredness, anger of the guests. So as a player, you can actually act upon.
Yeah, absolutely. It's so
It
good.
definitely like adds to the experience and the game immersion for sure. And in your experience, Tamara, how difficult would you say it is to build a new language for a video game?
It's definitely not for the faint of heart, but in our experience, it's totally worth it. Well, keep it in mind that the creation and maintenance and use of a constructed language does create a lot of collaboration between various departments, and they all bring their expertise together. So you have game design, audio, localization coming in and join this endeavor. And at Frontier, the concept artists and 3D modelers have also been absolutely amazing in embracing it and just decorating the world with Blanco signs and things. And yes, so as the Blanco at the moment has a vocabulary of about 5,000 words, so that's quite big. So you need to have a pretty solid process in place from the get-go in order to manage and use the language. So our translation tool is MemoQ, and we have a couple of custom hacks in there, so we can use it as practically a translation engine to convert English text into Blanco, along with the pronunciation.
Yeah, it's a goal
No,
for the
that was
people
so
that
cool.
yeah,
That was so
for the
cool.
people that don't know, there is like a an entire page dedicated to Blanco, like a dictionary. So you can go and check it out online. It's so good. So good.
We can put it on the description of this video.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We
You
can.
have to.
We will.
So
You can
I
try
know
it as
that,
well.
yeah, I know that Planet Zoo has been releasing a lot of DLCs, right? Because I have them all. And I know that you mentioned to me that you're a big fan of Planet Zoo too. And I have to ask, which expansion is your favorite? Because to me, it is the Tropical Pack because I love slots, like, oh my God, the cutest. And Grasslands because the challenge one takes place in Argentina. So I thought that was amazing too. So yeah, which expansion is your favorite? Can you choose one? I mean, so hard.
Yeah, that's a really tough one because they are all so unique.
Yeah.
But I think my personal favorite would be the conservation pack.
Oh yeah.
Which highlights the important role that zoos play in helping the planet. And it features some endangered species, some eco-friendly buildings and scenery, and it educates people about the importance of sustainability. And this is actually one of the main pillars of the game. So I think it's pretty amazing that an entire pack was dedicated to it. But talking about packs, I would be happy to share my favorite part in working on all these packs.
Oh my God. Yes, please do.
So, as you know, most of these packs highlight a geographical area or a specific habitat and brings in new animals and scenery pieces. So when we start working on a new pack, localization is actually brought in quite early. So we get to do some research and feedback on the proposed scenery items to make sure that they are not just beautiful, but they also represent the culture in a respectful and relevant way. And for example, the Australia pack that features some indigenous artwork. And for that, we worked with an indigenous artist and cultural ambassador called John Smith Gumbola, and even featured his own original artwork on, I think, a collection of painted rocks and such. And the second aspect where we bring in this connection between the animal species and the cultures or the area to which they are related to is the naming pools. So when a new animal is born or purchased in Planet Zoo, they get assigned a default name, which the players can change to their heart content, but that default name comes from a bucket of names. So for example, our first DLC was the Arctic pack, and for that the reindeers get their names from a bucket of Finnish, Swedish and Norwegian names. Then the polar bears and the Arctic wolves get an Inuit name, and then the Dall sheep get some popular North American name. So we all gather these names for these buckets, and of course they are all sanity checked to make sure that the meaning is okay and they don't sound like something rude or offensive in a major language. So yeah, I love how with these thematic packs we can celebrate the diversity and the cultures around the planet and bring those in for our planet players to enjoy. And this is also a really exciting way for localization to get involved and contribute.
Yeah, it's so amazing. I mean, I love seeing the llamas and the capybaras with Spanish names. It's so cool. Like, I love it. It's amazing.
And
Absolutely
it's great
incredible.
that your process incorporates the localization team early on. That's such a important part that
Yeah.
we can contribute exactly in that, and it can be beneficial for the game to have that insight from people from different places and and the language impact that the impact that it can have in different languages, how it sounds. I think it's great that you have the process like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, such a great care, and it shows. It really shows. Tamara, we know that you'll be giving a talk at Game Quality Forum, which will be in Amsterdam, June 27 and 29th through 29th. We truly can't wait. We'll be there. Can you tell us a little bit about what your talk's going to be for our audience?
Yes. So indeed, I'm going to Amsterdam. Oh, it's already next month, huh? And I'm very
Yes.
excited. I'm very excited about that. And I will be speaking about integrating localization into the game production pipeline. And, this is a topic that often comes up with localization professionals as we explore how we can be brought in earlier into that process and in a meaningful way, and how we can shift from being a cost center to a growth driver. Because you can't really make games for a global market without involving the expertise of the localization teams. And over the years, it has built up quite a mature localization program. So I'm really looking forward to sharing our journey with my fellow game localizers, and also to learn about their journey. And with these events, I find that I always head back home with my head full of ideas and motivations and insights to go home.
You have an outlet.
Yeah, and just just take all these valuable treasures back home and start improving things even further. And I'm actually not going alone from Frontier. So my colleague Yekaterina Zaitseva is also joining me. She is a senior localization manager, and she will be joining the panel discussion on diversity, equity, and inclusivity, which is led by Marina Ilari from Terra Localizations, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, it rings a bell. Yes.
Yes.
No, such an interesting topic, such a useful one that we're looking forward to it. And it's a topic that everyone involved, both in the video game localization and in the video game development and publishing side, should check out. So
Yes,
thank you for that.
absolutely.
And with that, it's the end of our episode with Tamara. Thank you everyone for joining us. Thank you, Tamara, so much for taking the time off your schedule to meet with us. We'll be seeing you guys again in 15 days with another episode of Open World. Don't forget to follow us on our socials. We are on Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, everywhere. So thank you very much, and see you next time.
Thank you,
very
everyone.
much.
Thank you, Tamara.